Subscribe. Hello and welcome to the 11th episode, I think, of Total Drama Multiverse. This will be the last game show episode for the week because on Saturday we will actually be having another episode, but it will not be taking place during the game show. I mean, it will be, but it won't be the game show. That's just a heads up for y'all. It'll kind of be structured like how episode 2 was. But for now, let's just get into it. On the Rifted Ravens, we'll open up with, I guess it's the Rifted Ravens and the Warped Weasels, because Luz is livid. She was completely blindsided by Ashley last night. She, because Ashley led her into this perfect, foolproof proof plan where her, Ashley, and Star would all vote Tails, and Tails would get cooked, or at least there'd be a tie between Tails and one of the three. But instead, Ashley flipped on her, and she doesn't know about the whole secret plan to get out Applejack, so she's just pissed. So Toph and Ezekiel are trying to comfort her, but she hates her team. Meanwhile, on the rest of the Rifted Ravens, Ashley and Applejack are starting to become really good friends again. But Ashley has still made it clear in confessional, while she does like Applejack's company and wants to continue to be friends with Applejack, she can't have somebody like this in her game. She's still friends with Jake, and she'll still be friends with Applejack, but she needs her out of the game. And then Spider-Man and Tails are just kind of being bros. They're kind of just an incel duo at this point. Speaking of incels, on the Warped Weasels, Ezekiel and Toph, who isn't an incel, but I mean, kind of also is. Toph is really becoming close friends with Ezekiel, and Luz is warming up to Ezekiel too. She finds his stupidity funny. So yeah, that's going well. But remember, Marcy is still wanting to work with Toph and Ezekiel so that they can take out In and Scary Girl. Which, by the way, In and Scary Girl are just pulling pranks. That's mainly what they do as a pastime. They just pull pranks on the team members and hang out together and have fun. Not just the team members, just anybody on the island. And then finally, for the Crooked Crocs, not too much has changed. I will say there's definitely starting to be more of a divide formed about right here between these three and these two. Because these three, while Jax is still friends with Monica, Jax is starting to see how much Monica is taking a liking to Zuko, and is starting to think it's weird because he thinks Zuko's a loser. So he's starting to distance himself from her, and she's starting to distance himself from him because he's being an ass to Zuko along with Dipper and Fritz. So there's definitely that divide right here. But yeah, that's pretty much all for the pre-challenge. So not too much. So if we go to the actual challenge, today's challenge is Challenge 8, Brutal Bowling. For Brutal Bowling, each team member must compete against themselves in a bowling tournament, and whoever wins that bowling tournament will be the representative of the team. The 3 team representatives will then compete in a 3-round bowling match that has bowling balls actively being launched at them. So, yeah. And I mean, there's not really much other rules to explain. So I guess we'll just go. Let's switch it up. We'll do the. In fact, let me mix these up so that they can be more interesting. The order. Okay, and switch it up from just Rifted Ravens, then Warped Weasels, then Crooked Crocs. So Crooked Crocs first. I think when it comes to bowling, we don't really know like any of these people's actual skill at bowling, but I think Izuku's been starting to work out and train. 1, to impress Monica, but 2, just to make himself feel better. So I think he wouldn't have been able to lift the bowling ball at the start of the season, but I think he is able to do it, and he's a nerd, so I think he'd be able to be relatively good at bowling. I think Fritz is a robot. There's no way he can do it. Jax, we actually have seen him with the bowling ball in episode 1 of the Digital Circus, and I mean, he threw that thing like crazy. So I think Jax is also another contender. Monica and Dipper are probably just average. Dipper probably wouldn't be good though, because he's probably pretty weak. While Monica probably just average. So I think it does come down to Izuku and Jax. And I'm actually going to give this to Izuku just because I would love to see Jax get really embarrassed about the fact that he lost a round of bowling to Izuku of all people. So if I put you in the front, that means you're the bowling representative. And then as to the Rifted Ravens, we got Luz has her weak nerd arms, and she's not really working out like Izuku. So I think Luz isn't able to really do well. Ashley would probably be average. I don't think she's ever played bowling before. She's definitely strong enough for it. But I think she'd be average. Same with Applejack. Not as strong as Ashley, but I think, I mean, you don't have to be that strong to hold a bowling ball. But I think Applejack will just be kind of average. And then we have the two nerds over here, Spider-Man and Tails. And I feel like both of them would do extremely well. But I think overall, I'm going to give it to Tails. One, because he hasn't had as much screen time. But two, I feel like he's just smarter and will be able to calculate it better. Then for the Warped Weasels, I think Ezekiel would be absolutely terrible, as he is with just about everything else. Toph is blind, so she can't see where those things are. So it'd be kind of funny if she just tried to do it, and then she just threw the bowling ball, because she's definitely strong enough, so she just threw the bowling ball straight into Ezekiel's crotch. Marcy probably does really well. However, N probably uses his cannon arm and just shoots it straight to it. And Scary Girl is probably also a little average, but I think... Oh my goodness, I just realized this is going to be a really quick challenge. I think overall, it's probably going to go to N. Yeah, this will just be a shorter episode in general, but that's fine. People's attention spans are bad anyway. So then this leads us to our final three thing, where we have Izuku versus Tails versus N. And there's strengths and weaknesses for these three. The first weakness, though, I'll say, is Izuku, while he's starting to become stronger, he definitely hasn't gotten his pain tolerance up yet. So I think Izuku would probably cry the second he gets hit in the stomach with a bowling ball. And obviously people would make fun of him. Jax would be more embarrassed. Monica would try to comfort him. And I think Izuku would probably be out of commission for a little bit and probably lose the first round because of it. But somebody who I do think will get the point this round is probably just N with his cannon idea. But I think Tails will call out to Chris that that's not fair because he's propelling it and he's not rolling the ball. At first, Chris will be like, well, I don't care. But then he'll realize, well, that's actually is like that's going to make the ratings lower because that'll just give N a free win. So he makes it to where N has to actually roll the ball now. So the Warped Weasels get 1 point. It's actually, we'll say it's first to 3 points. Okay, yeah. I'll change that on the rules before I record the rules, but it's actually first to 3 points. I think that's better. So for round 2, Izuku is still not well, but he'll still try. I don't think he's going to be the best, though, because I think N is also going to be uncoordinated now and try to figure out actually throwing it and just be kind of average, while Tails, I think, will probably win this point. Then in the third one, I think Izuku will realize, okay, the other two have a point. I really need to lock in, and I also need to have my team more impressed. I also need to not lose this, because if he loses this, he's cooked. Because even if Monica's on his side now, Jax, Dipper, Fritz, that's 3 votes, he's cooked. Unless Monica has a magical idol, which y'all know she doesn't. Then as for Tails and N. Tails does about the same as last time, but N is like starting to get better. But I think Azuku really locks in this round and gives himself or his team a point. So this leads us to round 3, where I think In is just really fumbling at this point. Um, but I think by sheer luck, he will not get last, but he definitely won't get first. So I think Izuku locks in. I think In does really well by sheer luck, and he's like, that has to win. I don't know what I'm doing there. And then Izuku, who has locked in and is like doing all the math, he's doing his like inner monologue thing that he always does. Um, he and then I could definitely see Monica doing some like thing where I cannot talk, y'all. Where she goes like, "Oh, he's so cute when he's thinking," and then Jax will look over at her like she's insane. She is though, so you know. And then Tails will just do about the same as he normally does. So that's the second point. And then I think the next person who will get a point is probably Tails. And just because he's doing actively good, and it would be kind of dumb if Zuku just went 1, 2, 3, and it's just kind of not doing great. But I do think N is going to actually like start to like he'll freaking use his AI to like bring out the best path, and obviously nobody can tell that, so he doesn't feel bad about it because he feels like it's kind of cheating, or he doesn't feel good about it, but he does do that. And he does it again the next round, and he wins it for this team. So this team has 1 immunity, the Orb Weasels. They will not be going to elimination tonight. But we still have these two, which are tied for 2. So since they both have 2 points left, it comes down to a final round between Azuku and Tails. And I'm actually going to say Azuku wins. So the Rifted Ravens will be going to elimination for the second time in a row. But yeah, I decided to switch it up instead of just doing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 with the order of the people getting eliminated. But yeah, I think that's a cool idea. So this leads us to the post challenge. The challenge is over, so we have Azuku is kind of really in a high mood, like a good mood. Monica and him are celebrating, and I think Dipper will admit he's impressed. Fritz will admit he's impressed, and I think Jax will just be pissed off and leave, excuse himself. Warped Weasels, I mean, nothing too big is happening over here. Let me put these people back with their people, though. Actually, Jax is already there, but Tails goes right there. And then on the Rifted Ravens, Luz is just crying. She knows, or at least she thinks she knows, she's close. Ashley, Applejack, Spider-Man, and Tails all have a pact, as far as she knows, until when she's crying by herself. Ashley comes up to her and tells her to not get her hopes up, but tells her to vote Applejack tonight. Because Ashley still doesn't know if these two are going to be loyal to it. She assumes they will be, but who knows? So she just wants to get Luz to vote Applejack just in case. So Luz is like, if I have any opportunity, I'll do it. So Luz, so we finally get to elimination time, and Applejack votes Luz. And Spider-Man and Tails, I'd say, probably talk about it a lot, if they should do it or not. But in the end, they decide that they should vote with him, because he doesn't want to have to use his he doesn't want Luz and Ashley to vote Applejack, and then them two to vote you, and then maybe Applejack votes Ashley, or something could happen, and they have to use Tails as idol. It probably would still go well, and they'd be able to get out Ashley or Luz, but they just want to make sure, just to keep Ashley as a good ally. So Applejack is very, very sadly, for her at least, not for me, Very happily for me. I would have gotten her out here if I had the choice. But very sadly, she walks away. Like she walks away very sad. I cannot freaking talk. She gets up after the elimination. She looks over at Spider-Man and Tails, and she's just not. She's just mad at them. And she tells Luz she feels bad for her to be on a team with a bunch of I doubt she'd say assholes, but I will say assholes. And then she looks at Ashley and she just walks away crying. And Ashley feels bad about it, but she's like, what are you gonna do? So she's out. And yeah, this leads us to our elimination chamber, where after Applejack walks in, Agent Peely is extremely concerned. He was hoping for somebody brilliant or someone super strong. The three people he was hoping for were Peter, Tails, or N. And now that and maybe even like Scary Girl, but then he freaking got Jinx, who is good, Star, who doesn't want to comply, and Applejack, who has no access to her magic at this point and is just a freaking useless to him. So Trump and him try to make up a plan in Jinx, but they're going to need to use some of the others to do it. So I hope y'all tune in for the next episode. Even though it's not a game show episode, I hope y'all will still enjoy it, because it will be good and it will have lasting effects, very important effects on not just once we get to the merge it'll have effects, but it will definitely have effects on later seasons of Total Drama Multiverse, depending on how far we go with this. So definitely still watch it. But I hope y'all enjoyed this shorter episode, and I hope to catch y'all in the next one. See ya!